Hello, everybody. Let me fluff myself up a little bit and welcome in. See, you're laughing already. You got a smile on your face, drinking your coffee or drinking your martini or whatever. And hello, everybody. Welcome into something we've not done for a long time, which is the Q&A. I used to do that on a monthly, but I am so doggone busy these days. I'm lucky if I can get to it every other month. But the questions roll in, the comments roll in, the Gmails roll in. No, I don't answer all the harsh and what I call the mean questions and things. I chuck them out. I mean, there's you're going to get a troll questions once in a while and things like that. But by and large, people were pretty positive on the chat here. And of course, I don't, the number one questions I get, the Gmails, are bikinis. Where are the bikinis? The OnlyFans. You're not doing anything on OnlyFans. I know there's only so many there's only so many hours in a day, okay? And when you've had the schedule I've had of being content heavy, especially the month of July, it was they're really being on the travel so much, there wasn't really time. Yeah, I hit the beach in Acapulco and it was fun. I did a Vegas one. You can see that on the Rosie McNamara channel, the C channel here. So, and by the way, if you're not subscribed to this channel, please sub and hit the bell for all notifications. Some people were subbed and they don't get notifications of live stream, perhaps because they're not hitting the bell for everything that's going on the channel. So make sure that you have that. Also, the Rosie Murphy channel and the Rosie McNamara channel, three channels, ABC channels here on YouTube. If you could change one habit about yourself, what would it be? Well, I can tell you what. I'm known as kind of the Oscar Madison. If you remember the TV series, The Odd Couple, and Neil Simon play the Odd Couple, yeah, I'm kind of like the Oscar Madison, the baseball cap backwards. But I'm the one that you want to hang out with, right? Because you don't want to hang out with Felix, right? You want to hang out with Oscar. Down at the local bar. But I wish I was a little neater when it came to picking up after myself, and I do wish that would I wish I could change that. I try and I just fail all the time. So it's to me it's been a tough habit. So the rancho's always been in this state of needing to have things cleaned up. Okay. How did you get a Kia car for free? Was it free? Indeed it was. I did videos on it, but not everybody sees every video. But it was called I Got a Kia, and it had 190,000 miles on it. It's a great little car. It's had a lot of work done to it. But the boss and Janet, my very good friends, decided to get a Subaru Forester, a 2021 Subaru Forester. The touring edition, which was fantastic. If you saw us on our travels, it was comfortable, great road suspension, beautiful on the road, good mileage too, almost 30 miles to the gallon on that ride. But they had no more need for the Janet's Kia that she had bought in 2003 with 190,000 miles, and they're originally like oh, we're gonna give this to donate this, like Cars for Kid. And I guess the hair on my wig stood straight up, and my eyes got real, sad. And she turns to me, "You don't want this car, do you?" Yeah, I don't want it much. Of course I want the car. So I ended up getting the ar and getting it all squared away down at DMV. So I'm happy to have it. Mainly because I can leave a car on the property while I'm away, and it makes the place look a little more lived in. It's nice to have a little bit of a backup car here, and it doesn't cost a lot insurance-wise. So thank you, Janet. When will the drone fly? And was the test you took hard? I've heard some horror stories about it. The Part 107 exam. It's an examination that you take to remote pilot license. You actually have an FAA, Federal Aviation Administration license that you hold for remote pilot aircraft license. And you know, at first I thought, oh, it's going to be la-di-da. You know, I'm doing the study material, and there's a lot of gimme questions that are easy. But when I went to take my test in, I guess it was June, I didn't have any gimmies. They were all about sectional charts and air charts, and it was really, really, really an incredibly difficult and demanding test, an hour and a half and 60 questions, and I rolled through with the 77 because I was like, where in the hell are the gimmies, you know, to pull me up? There weren't any. So I have a feeling that they're making this test as tough as possible so they can restrict the number of drones that are flying out there. And you must be licensed if you're going to use it for YouTube or for commercial purposes. And yes, it's a hard exam, and yes, you need to study like crazy for that. Very, 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 very difficult. Okay. See, you claimed you would do a video on things that surprised you about Mexico City. Where is it? Well, I didn't do it, but I can tell you in a nutshell, the thing that surprised me about Mexico City, it's the capital city of Mexico. It's arguably the largest city in the world. It lies between Shanghai and Chongqing, and Tokyo is the largest city in the world. What really shocked me about Mexico City was how clean it was, incredibly clean. Streets were just had people out there constantly keeping the voluminous number of streets clean out there, doing a great job. Number two was how polite everybody is. Everybody wishes you good morning. Everybody says thank you. People are just so kind and polite. Even with my Spanglish, my crappy Spanish, they're still as polite and happy as can be, and they're happy to engage, which is pretty cool. So the politeness surprised me. Number three would be how beautiful the city was with its historic, pardon me, that's our neighborhood ice cream guy that peddles his ice cream cart through the area. But how beautiful the architecture was, from the Spanish style architecture, the 14, 15, 1600s, absolutely amazing. And number four, how inexpensive it is down there to visit and stay there. You can eat and stay for about half the price here in the U.S., which makes it a great travel bargain. I think the safety is great, which is an important consideration. Good transportation system, good Ubers, everything. Just absolutely highly recommended. Okay, here we go. The bikini videos have been nowhere. There's a few on here I did, and the McNamara, and of course the OnlyFans I haven't really fired up. When will you model the risque ones on there? There's only so many hours in a day. First I said, if I had your body, I'd be in a bikini 24/7 on YouTube. Well, let me tell you what, YouTube's got different ideas about that. So it is what it is. Here was an interesting one. What was your, or what is your most controversial video? Well, there's one that's getting a lot of play now. It's called Beautiful Plantation Mansion House in Louisiana. And I did not go in there thinking about I guess I should have, the slave trade, and it was a sugar plantation called Houma Plantation there. And I went in just with a videographer's eye for the beauty of the place, and I had a lot of people make comment to this. It was a place of horror, of plantation life, the enslavement, and that's very true. And I should have given a tip of the nod to that and recognized that. But when I see, you guys know I'm particularly fond of architecture and the way that shots frame up when I'm doing my cinematic feature. And that was not a cinematic feature, but I was taken by the breathtaking beauty of the lake outside and the weeping willows and the whole scene. So it's kind of an eye-opener for me. So I think some people thought I was glorifying that, but in reality I was just taken by the beauty of the place without deep thinking the history. How difficult has it been to travel in the pandemic? For example, how was the airport in Mexico? I was really, it's been challenging. You guys got to remember, a lot of things, a lot of the world, except for the Americas, is really shut down right now in terms of visitation and in terms of tourism. Like something out of the Marx Brothers gone by with Harpo Marx, but a lot of it's still shut down, but only really Central America and Mexico. So you see a lot of YouTubers gravitating to those places and doing videos. It's, you know, when I got to Mexico City and Acapulco, it was like moving backwards to the winter of 2020, the fall and winter. There were temperature checks every place you went to. There was a temperature check to get in the door. Multiple temperature checks at the airport. There was multiple, every time you went into the hotel, you got a temperature check. Every restaurant you went into, everything was temperature checked, and then they would give you hand gel. So they were very stringent, and you had to wear a mask everywhere. Okay, and as far as flying domestically, because we drove in to parked on the U.S. side, walked into the airport, crossing CBX in on the Tijuana American border right there, and we went for you know, we were flying domestically on Valero, which is a great airline in Mexico, and if I had any idea that the screening and thing, the TSA in Mexico would be any lighter, well, that wasn't going to happen. I mean, that they screened every bit as thoroughly as you do in the U.S. Here, and so it was a very rigorous screening process. So helps you feel safe on the airline. You know, X-raying every bag, take off your bells, stand there and get scanned, and they did everything in there. Okay, so I thought that they did a good job. Number 7. This person, okay, the person's mad. Here why would a cheap slob like you, not you guys, why would a cheap slob like you get to see any penthouse in Vegas? That just proves to me that Vegas really went to shit. Oh, thank you. I have a very overriding philosophy on the channel, and is if there's something that you are curious about, or something that you want to do, and it involves getting permission to do it, my philosophy is the worst somebody can say is, no, I can't arrange that for you. But you know, most people by nature, particularly people in authority, now it may not hold so much during pandemic times, but they want to say yes. The case of the El Cortez and Adam Weisberg, he's proud of what they've accomplished at the El Cortez. They have a hotel casino, doesn't have a pool. Okay, doesn't really have shows in there, has one Midland restaurant in there, and yet they're still able to sell the cool factor of the El Cortez. So he would be proud of that. And to have somebody ask to see the original owner's suite on top of the building, the Jackie Gone suite, yeah, I wasn't really surprised. Plus he checked out the channel, saw I was a travel channel, and did some serious content, so it was on, and I wasn't much of a slob that day, just surprisingly, right? All right, so that was a beautiful thing. So will you ever have a new queen on the rancho? I sure hope so, but you know, sometimes you just want, maybe Rosie just rides off into the sunset like some Western, you know, alone, destined to be alone. But if you're a queen of the rancho or want to be out there, tell me how much you love me. Seriously, it would be nice. I hope to meet somebody to share some experiences with. Let's see, this person's, I would like to try and make cinematic travel videos, something like you do. How about just some simple tips would be mucho apreciado here, would be much appreciated on that regard. I'm no expert, but I do watch a lot of videographers, and especially some that do professional, and I try to pick up a few things, and I try to incorporate it, and I try to move towards getting better and better. I'm limited by the cell phone that I use, the smartphone, okay, the Samsung Galaxy S10. With big gear, yeah, I wouldn't have the occasional out of focus and occasional pulsings. I'd have more of an ability to zoom in close with better lenses, but I'm just doing the best I can right now. But here are some tips. First tip is compose the scene. Don't get out there and just turn on the camera. Think about it the way that you're taking a picture, okay? Look at the scene, and you know, if a Burger King sign is in the way, move your camera a little bit to crop that out of the view. Okay, think about the composition of what you're putting down on video and treat it as if it is a picture that you are painting. Do you really want the Burger King sign in there? Or do you want to emphasize the street worker that's leaning against the pole there, waiting for a trick to come along? You know, there's compositional aspects of things, and you have to take time to look at the whole frame, okay? Compose the scene. Don't just plunk the on button and start shooting. Steady shots are best. Don't jiggle the camera all around. Philip Bloom, who's one of the best cinematographers I know, he's a guy lives in the UK. He's a great cinematographer. Everything he shoots is on a tripod for cinematography. Everything is on a steady shot. He rarely does anything handheld. Don't be afraid to use a tripod. Compose your shots and hit the record button, okay? You don't always need to be walking and jiggling and bouncing, and it's irritating. Number 3, add people where possible. People love to see other people in videos. They know what the Taj Mahal looks like, but they don't know, you know, that there's an acrobat that performs in front, 3 guys that stand on each other's shoulders out front of the Taj Mahal, and now it's something that people are going to be interested in, right? Plus you get the Taj Mahal, and plus you get the people. You understand what I'm saying? Buildings by themselves just don't cut it unless you're doing what I'm doing and incorporating a lot of movement into your shot. Then it becomes interesting to people. So make sure you're adding people. Number 4, add the right music. Okay, don't put rap music in something of a Mexican feature unless it's a real earthy street scene or something like that. In other words, you don't want to be at the Metropolitan Cathedral, this enormous cathedral in Mexico City on the main square, and have rap music while you're touring the church. People do this, and I'm like, oh my God, there's just no sense of self. Use the right music, okay? And the last thing is add camera movement when you can. You'll notice when you watch Hollywood movies and TV shows, the camera's always moving. It's coming up or down, it's left to right. The camera's in motion. It adds a lot more interest to scenes. Number 10, what's your best travel idea to see a city? Hire a local driver. Whether it's a taxi driver, negotiate with a guy, find an experienced guy that speaks a little bit of English. Tell them what you want to do, negotiate a deal. These people know where stuff is that the tourists ain't never going to see. In the case of Acapulco, Raimundo took us over to Pito. Not a lot of people are going to be willing. He never, in all the years he's been driving, never took anybody over, not to Pito, but over to Renacimiento over there, okay? All right, find a local driver that knows the city, work a deal with him. We had 3 hours, $50 between the two of us, which was incredible, okay? Number 11, anything you regret, this is the last one, anything you regret in your recent travels. Probably the risk I took in Tepito in Mexico City. That was kind of dumb. That could have ended really badly when I was accosted by 3 people with walkie-talkies, and that. It could have gone really bad. There ain't no cops going to get in there to bail me out. I'm under the jurisdiction of the local warlords in that little area there, and they could have done whatever the hell that they wanted to do. to me and Kevin. So that could have really ended badly. But I got a good video out of it. I live to tell about it. That's going to do it for the Q&A. I want to thank you guys for being here today. I know it was a long one. Your thumbs up are appreciated. Your comments are always most welcome. And if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And don't tell me you're not getting notifications. Hit that bell for all activity on the channel. If you're not getting notifications, unsub, resub, and hit that bell for all notifications. All right. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Mwah.